advocate programs. Yet, I empower Blessing with tools so she can see her strengths and set positive goals.
As a little kid, I experienced trauma and I acted out. Made some mistakes, but I'm not a mistake.
No, she's a good student and a great kid. As Jalen's YAP advocate, I'm always here for her.
We need YAP. The youth, they need strong support systems. I try to help the youth understand if you have a change of mindset, you can have a change of action.
YAP gives communities alternatives to residential care, youth incarceration, and neighborhood violence. After completing our program, nearly 90% of participants remain in their community. YAP works.
And now I'm finding my way and excited about my future.
Youth Advocate Programs. Others talk social change. We make it happen. Learn more at yapinc.org.
Listen up, parents, teachers, counselors, coaches. Your boys just turned 18, but they need one more push. Don't let them forget to register with the Selective Service System. It's required by law, and it can open up the door to many federal benefits. Visit sss.gov.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy a pallet or more of select concrete mix. And there's more. Save up to 25% when you buy a pallet or more of select drywall panels. Plus, get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm. Injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. A warm front lifts north through the area today, bringing increased cloud cover and warmer temperatures. Then cloudy overnight into Saturday morning before rain is likely on Saturday. It'll be chilly on Saturday with highs only reaching the mid to upper 40s.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 311 points to 48,374. Market update brought to you by Blue Shark Vodka, the world's smoothest vodka. Pour Blue Shark Vodka at all your events to lift everyone's spirits. Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite.
Here's out in front. They score! Sebastian Aho! Now taking aim for an empty net from Durham. He scores. Lane Hudson didn't hesitate. And with 2 minutes left in the third, the Canes are down 2 goals again. It's 7-5.
Yeah, I mean, well, if we play like that, we're going to lose 20-1. I mean, it's exceptional team coming in, obviously, best in the league, and they're going to make us look like an AHL team if we don't show up.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy New Year, everybody. That's a good one, right? Happy New Year. Hopefully you had a better opening to your new year than the Carolina Hurricanes. You just heard some of that going on. Although, Sebastian Aho averages 5 points per game this year. That's a good clip.
Numbers never lie.
Hey, make stats say whatever you want. Panthers, Saturday, tomorrow, there's a big one. College basketball going on. College football playoff. How you like me now, Southeastern Conference? So much to get to. We have a short show today, so we're going to jump right into it. I'm Tim Donnelly, Max Gorin producing the show, and this is the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
The Canes lost to Montreal yesterday, 7-5. Now, we'll talk about the actual entire game, right? Coming up about 3:15, we'll talk about the comments from Rod Brindamore. We'll bring up comments from Jordan Stahl. The lack of attention to detail, the turnovers. But to me, the story for the Carolina Hurricanes is how Brandon Bussey reacts to that one. It's the question we have about Brandon Bussey. And it's the question I've been screaming we're going to get an answer to before I build statues. right? Before everybody just writes his name in ink as goalie one for the rest of this run for the Carolina Hurricanes, I went, listen, we know he can stop high danger chances because he's done it for 15 games. We know he can stay locked in within a game after giving up a couple because we've seen it through 15 games. We know he can do so many things because we've seen it through his first 15 games. Number 16 was a doozy, right? Gave up 7 of them things to Montreal. And while some of them, you would put the lion's share of the blame on someone else, bad turnovers, out of position, whatever you want. The fact of the matter is when you are a goaltender, that number goes on your record, right? Goals against 7. That's a tough one to deal with. It's a tough one to go to sleep with at night. How does he react in his next start? And whenever that will be. But how he reacts in his next start might be the most important thing that he has done thus far in his very, very young NHL career. Because if you prove you can bounce back from bad games quickly, if you prove you can bounce back from giving up a whole bunch of goals in expeditious fashion, that's a huge sign for longevity as a goaltender in the NHL. Because no matter how good you are, and you can start naming all the guys who we know by just first names, no matter how good you are, you're going to have bad games in net. You're going to give up goals. The guys in front of you are going to have bad games. You're going to be put in bad positions. And they're going to be significantly more high pressure than an early January game against Montreal at home when you're near the top of the standings and you still have so much time to correct things, and Jacob Slavin's not there, and Seth Jarvis isn't there, and Shane Gostisbehere isn't there, and you can point to all of those things as reasons why things weren't going smoothly. After bad games, how do you react? Goalie is maybe the most important position in sports for that particular skill.
Yeah, we'll see how well he's able to bounce back since he hasn't really had to face I think that's the first multi-goal loss, and it's really only because of the empty netter too, because all the other two, I think it was a 1-goal loss to Dallas, I think was regulation, and then they had the shootout loss against Florida a couple weeks ago, which just kind of started this little downswing. Feels like every year though they have a stretch where things are just not fully in sync, and then they're not playing as well, and they usually figure it out. So I have faith that they'll get it turned around, especially if they can get some of those injured bodies back sooner rather than later.
I have full faith in the skaters. But when you pair Pyotr Kochekov's surgery and absence with what Freddie Anderson's been putting on the ice recently, you're going to have to not only depend on Bussy like sometimes, right? You're going to have to feel very comfortable rolling him out there a bunch. And don't forget, I know he's played a lot of AHL games. A long NHL grind's a little bit different, right? So, similar to you get to like week 14 in the NFL, you start looking at your rookies going like, this is more high-pressure football than you've ever played, right? Week 15, he's not there yet, but when he gets there, you're going to be confident with him. To me, the confidence, maybe waning confidence, maybe growing confidence, right? Depending on how the next couple of days go. And Brandon Bussy becomes one of the stories, especially looking towards the trade deadline and what the Canes might have to do. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Carolina Panthers tomorrow afternoon against the Buccaneers. Panthers win or tie, they take that out of everybody's hands, right? They punch their ticket on their own. They find a way into the postseason. I think they should operate as if that's the only way to get in, right? Because I understand that a big part of the conversation this week has been, well, even if they don't win, if the Falcons beat the Saints, they still back their way into the postseason. And I agree that, by hook or by crook, by any means necessary, you celebrate making the postseason. And then you add like Chris Olave is not playing for the Saints, and that probably limits their offense even more, and on and on. I don't want to depend on a safety net. And with the way the Bucs are playing, you shouldn't have any expectations of needing to use the safety net. You just beat them recently, right? You just beat them recently, so you can do it.
And they're like the coldest team in the NFL also.
The Bucs. Yes, absolutely. The only thing I would give them, if you were looking for reasons to be concerned, is Baker Mayfield is scrappy, right? He has some Panthers in him, and what I mean by that is not that he did play for the Panthers for a hot second, but he does seem to play his best when everybody counts him out. So don't count him out. And they do have a lot of championship pedigree in that locker room, right? The Mike Evans, the Levante Davids, these are guys that have been in the NFL for a long time, and they understand that they could be the coldest team in the NFL, but if they win this one and get a little help from the Falcons, or from the Saints, I should say, they could be in the postseason, and then who knows what happens from there. So we'll talk about keys, right? I still think chunk yardage offensively is probably the most important thing in this game. The thing that did them in, meaning the Panthers, last week against the Seahawks, was that they just made it too difficult. They made it so they had to make 9, 10, 11 great plays, picking up 6, 7 yards at a time to go down the field and score, and they just have to make it easier on themselves, right? One 25-yard play and a drive increases your chances of scoring points by a boatload, and that goes up even more the way that current kickoff rules and basically how good your kickers are, right? Your drives are starting further downfield, right, closer towards where you're trying to go, and your kickers are making field goals a longer distance. So you get one, like 15, 20, 25-yard play, you're practically in scoring range. They need to be able to do that, and I think you look towards Tedero McMillan, maybe a Jimmy Horn if you can get him in a gadget play, or if the running game can pull it off, I'd love it, but let's not act like they have the two biggest home run hitters toting the rock. That's number 2. Let's jump to number 3.
Number 3.
College football playoff. How you like me now, SEC? Huh? How you like me now, SEC? The Final Four has been set. Oregon against Indiana. That's a rematch, Big Ten style, going into the winner advancing to the championship. Ole Miss, Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. Ole Miss beat Georgia, so do we really count that as a win for the SEC?
Yeah, I think it's funny their only wins they've picked up in the playoffs so far are when SEC teams are playing against each other.
Or a group of 5 team, because Ole Miss did beat Tulane. But that's a group of 5 team with coaching turmoil and all that. Not saying Ole Miss doesn't. My point is this. It feels very basketball to me in that, like the last couple of years, last handful of years, everybody just talks about how the ACC is down, the ACC is down, the ACC is down. They get less teams into the tournament, and then what happens? They got a team in the Final Four. It's the same thing, right? ACC is down, ACC is down. All right, fine, we'll give them Miami. Miami's in the Final Four. And if you told me they beat Ole Miss and made it to the national championship, which is obviously a possibility coming up next week, I would not be surprised in the least. Now, if Ole Miss wins, I wouldn't be surprised either. Trinidad Chambliss looked pretty good. But my point is this. I don't think the SEC is what the SEC says they are. I don't think the SEC is what the SEC says they are, meaning let's not give them the benefit of the doubt anymore, right? If they lose their non-conference games, if they look ugly in some of their games, let's not go, yeah, but they're playing against so-and-so. Alabama got smoked by Indiana. And Oklahoma, I guess, put up a fight against Alabama, but let's not pretend like that would have been any different if they advanced.
No, wouldn't have been.
Georgia gets the bye, faces Ole Miss. Neither of those teams, or at least Georgia, didn't impress me a ton. Texas A&M scored 3 points against. I mean, what are we doing here?
It's like, well, I just forgot what I was going to say.
But that's what the SEC.
That's what the SEC.
If you watch
doing.
SEC quote unquote blowhards right now, right? They're shills. They're just walking stuff back in weird ways.
They're at a loss for words as well.
They're doing a lot of like, well, I didn't say Indiana wasn't an SEC. What I said was we didn't know. No. We did know. We watched it all year. The eye test told us the SEC wasn't what it is, and the bowl games have told us. The college football playoff has told us. So next year, I hope the 12 teams are not half SEC. Pardon me. Could we get the SEC or the ACC champion in there maybe, in addition to Miami? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Short show today, but we have plenty of time to talk about whatever that was that the Canes put on the ice against Montreal last night. 7-5 the final score. Jordan Stahl, the captain, had some words for the team after the game. Stick around.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
Pondering prizes with Cash Pop? Why pick just one pop when you can pick as many pops as you please? Up to 15. Picture this. You pick your pop, perhaps a powerful 7. Now pick more pops like a proud 9, a pristine 15, a perfect 10. Each pop propagates more potential to pack your pockets with prizes up to $2,500. So prepare for a peppering of prizes with Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Cash Pop. Play more pops, win more prizes. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds charts at nclottery.com. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Hurricanes dropped one to Montreal last night, 7-5. Wild back and forth game, down to, up to, down to, up, down. Let's go, goal, no goal. That's my.
I think that's a pretty fair recap of the game.
That's my professional analysis. I get paid to do that, which is wild sometimes. But that is how it felt watching the game, right? It did feel like you were celebrating in a big way, and then all of a sudden you were really bummed, and then you were confused, and then you thought there should have been a call, and there wasn't, and then it would just, you got the full gamut, and eventually it ended up being a multi-goal loss, 7-5, 12 goals scored overall, obviously. And for a maybe more articulate breakdown, give me time to collect my thoughts. We have 2 minutes of gold all about last night's game with our very own Adam Gold, and it goes like this.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. I've got 2 minutes for 2 points that the Carolina Hurricanes did not get and honestly did not deserve last night against the Montreal Canadiens as we ring in the new year, much like we closed out the last one. It's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep. They will help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. For the first time all year, we found that Brandon Bussey leads.
Suzuki with a shot, and they score. Carolina couldn't clear, and the Canadian captain, Nick Suzuki, is 14th. Makes it 1-0 Montreal. Texier across, Caulfield scores. Canes had a chance to get it in deep. Montreal takes advantage. Now a giveaway out in front, and they'll score. Josh Anderson, a hope pass in the middle of the ice, and Anderson, the wily veteran, makes it 5-4 Montreal. Slafkovsky going wide on Nystrom, and he scores! He sneaks it through the arm of Bussey, and the Canadiens have extended their lead at 6-4.
Nick Suzuki opened the scoring. That's a great shot by an Olympian, so I'm not that surprised, but it's also a save that Bussey has made in the past. The fourth goal, the fifth goal, and the sixth goals, yeah. The first two, very savable, didn't get saved. The sixth one can't ever go in. That was the first truly bad goal that Brandon Bussey has allowed this season. Now, we're going to find out in his next start, most likely tomorrow, against the Colorado Avalanche, or should I say, Le Québec Nordique. We're going to find out really what Brandon Bussey is for this team. A bounce back means that Bussey can be relied upon the rest of the year. If he doesn't play well, now Carolina's got some questions that they need to answer because Frederick Anderson isn't supplying many of those answers at this point. So this is going to be a barometer for what Carolina can expect going forward. Bussey's start more than likely tomorrow against Colorado's high-flying offense, including three of our old friends. I don't want to forget Brent Burns, Jack Drury, and, of course, Martin Necas. Meanwhile, buried in last night's disaster was the fact that we wasted 5 points from Sebastian Aho. Second time in his career that Aho's had a 5-point night, but they lost it. That should have been a win. Anyway, the Hurricanes will get back at it against the Avalanche tomorrow, and we're all thankful to our friends at Parkway Sleep Health. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for a bounce back from the bus.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. That's 2 minutes of gold. Thank you very much to Adam Gold. If Brandon Bussey is in net tomorrow,
which it doesn't sound like he's going to be. Frederick Anderson was in the starter's crease at practice today.
I completely understand why they wouldn't, because it's one thing to say, like, all right, let's see how you bounce back from a tough one. It's another one, hey, let's see how you bounce back from a tough one against that team with those scores and go, yeah, let's see if we can break 7. That one's going to be a challenge. And Freddie Anderson, maybe that's what he needs, right? Just kind of the extra lock-in of playing that team with those guys. I use this analogy all the time. When I was a kid, we went to see the Globetrotters. Guy threw up his name was Showtime. I think his last name was Gaffney. Apologize if I got that wrong. But he threw up a half-court shot, little hook shot, missed. Grabbed the microphone and said, sorry, everybody, I know what I did wrong. I was too close. Took 5 steps back. Missed. Sorry, everybody, I was too close. Took 5 steps back. Made it. As a kid, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Looking back, he probably would have just kept going 5 steps until he made it. But, hey, that's the tricks of the trade. That's the magic. Maybe Freddie Anderson is just like, hey, I haven't been doing well because I haven't been playing some of the best scorers and best offense in the league. I need to go out there and be tested by the best.
And his best game this season, kind of before it all sort of came crashing down, was that game in Colorado where players were dropping like flies. I think they lost like 3 forwards. So that's when Eric Robinson got hurt. William Carrier got hurt. Like they were dropping a lot of guys.
They were already blue line.
Colorado came on really strong late in that one to like come back because I think the Canes were up 4-0 like early in that one too, and they were just trying to fend it off. And Freddie Anderson did a great job in that because he was getting peppered with shots, 40 plus if I remember correctly, and turned in a great game that ended up being a shootout win. So maybe he can relive that. Maybe there's something. I mean, he knows how some of the guys shoot based on practices before, at least those 3. So again, there's only so much that can help when you also have to deal with Nathan McKinnon and Lekkonen's a great player as well. Nichushkin. I mean, they have a lot of very talented players, and this defenseman that's pretty decent named Cale Makar as well. So, I mean, he's gonna rely on the defense in front of him taking a step up too, and hopefully Gostisbehere can go. He was at practice today, so
that's what I want to focus on. Like it's when the goalie, particularly Freddie Anderson, and Bussey's still so interesting, right? Whether it's a one-game blip or it turns into something bigger, it's still fascinating, his story. I don't want to make it all about the goalies because yesterday, obviously there were some Bussey would like to stop and he wants to have back, but there were a lot of questionable decisions made by everyone on the ice, including some guys that participated in many of the goals, right? It's not like there were guys out there playing 100% good games. The turnovers, the kind of, quite frankly, weird decisions on some of the passes that they were trying to get through, some of the passing up of shots. It was not a quintessential Canes game. And to me, that was the main story coming out of it, particularly from the guys on the inside, from Jordan Staal, from Rod Brindamore, talking to the post-game media. And I'll let you hear it for yourself. Here's the captain, Jordan Staal, on the messages that he and Rod Brindamore have been giving to the team, maybe not getting through.
Clearly, it's been enough games. We've talked about it enough. So it's just a matter of going out and executing, and I don't know how many more times Roddy can say it, myself can scream it through the room, and it's just a matter of going out and executing it, and everyone, like I said, taking pride in it, and we've got to be better.
If I were, and I did this a couple days ago, if I were to go full like New Year all optimism, I would say that anytime somebody new joins the Canes, we do traditionally bake in like 15, 20 games of on-ramp because they play such an exhausting defensive system, and it does take so much chemistry and communication. You have to be on the same page.
15 or 20, I mean, I know of a couple players in particular that didn't get that much grace.
Well, exactly. But I'm saying we, meaning like our show.
Oh, yeah.
Not the general public. You get like 2.5 games, and if you're not cranking by the third period of the third game, they want you benched. But you have to acknowledge that what the Canes ask the players to do is exhausting, right? It's what everybody talks about. Now, obviously, we're well past 15 to 20 games, but because of the revolving door, Keandre Miller didn't have his best game. But Keandre Miller has been in and out of the lineup constantly with injuries, and the guys around him have been in and out of the lineup constantly with injuries.
And he's probably still playing hurt himself, honestly.
Exactly, probably not 100%.
He's had 100%, yeah.
Exactly. So maybe there's still some grace, right? Maybe there's still some leeway there. Like, I think sometimes we give a little too much, the eventual return of Jarvis and Slavin and is doing a lot of heavy lifting right now. Maybe there's too much there, but I mean, especially on the blue line, there just hasn't been a lot of continuity all season, right? You're looking out there, and Nystrom's still playing minutes, and then it's like you can like some of what the fill-ins have done while also acknowledging.
Yeah, they're not at the same level as some of your roster regulars, and some of the regulars haven't been pulling as much weight as you typically like them to see. Like, we probably want to see a little bit higher level from Jalen Chatfield this year. I know he's dealt with injuries of his own, though, so you got to give him a little bit of grace
partners
as well.
So I'm just, and Nikishin for all of the flashes, still a very young dude with not a lot of NHL experience who obviously is not making every correct decision that Rod Brindamore is looking for. And you've seen that in their actions when healthy scratches and things, which may be coming up. So perhaps, and again, this is me putting on the New Year's all optimism hat, perhaps it'll click later. Because right now it does not appear to be like traditional Canes system hockey, which we've come to take for granted for so many years of just, even if things aren't going well, there were certain baselines of everybody being, so locked in on the system and on the program that the floor very rarely felt like it was going to be 7 goals allowed to Montreal.
No, yeah. Well, look, I know one thing that, and I think they will kind of get re-energized and get back into their system because, like I said, they have these lulls pretty much once a season every year.
Sometimes a couple times.
Yeah, sometimes.
We haven't even gotten the players-only meeting yet, which is like a traditional event.
We're like the halfway point of the season.
Yeah.
But what can really energize the locker room is when you go out in the trade market and you make a big pickup. And I think at some point before the deadline, that's still to come. Tulsky, he operates in the shadows, and then he comes out with the big fish. I mean, I don't know who it would be, and I don't know what position or how he would go about it. But
no, I don't allow that. If you're going to bring it up, what are they trading for?
Well, no one expected like the Mikko Rantanen trade last year, like something out of left field. That's just what he does. That's what Tulsky does.
I don't mean who. I mean what. Like, are we talking?
Probably. I'm thinking probably a forward acquisition.
Center
or a goalie if there was one available, but the options are limited.
It's just the trade market, and here's it's the number one question I get asked when I'm in the wild and I'm talking with Canes fans is what are they going to do at the deadline? Are they going to get a goalie? The thing that Eric Tulsky, I'm a Eric Tulsky fan because of the way he operates, the way he's involved in everything. Even if the deal doesn't get done, I think he's talked about it. I think he's been in the mix. I think it's that way for a lot of guys. I completely agree that trying to predict the player is ridiculous because, like I said, Mikko Rantanen, absolutely, completely out of left field. It's going to be a value play, right? When people come up to me and say, do you think they need a blank? Every team can get better at darn near every position. except for a very, very small handful that have 4 really, really good centers or a really, really good goalie. There's always something there. The Canes, in my observation, right, and could not be 100%, they don't go shopping for things. They go shopping for value.
Exactly.
Right? They go shopping for, what's this guy's cost? Okay, we value him more than what his cost would be. That's obviously a net gain for us. We'll consider the move. With the one exception of, I do believe they just because Gensel and Rantanen have been their 2 kind of biggest moves recently, even though one of them wasn't with Tulsky as the head GM, he was in the room. I do think they believe they need just a stone cold scorer. Right, I do think they believe
never hurts.
They just need an assassin, goal a game in the moments that matter type guy. But I don't think they're going to force it.
No, they won't make the move if the value's not right. But in the negotiations, they can make that value right. But at least in terms of goaltending, for all the people out there that are oh, they should go trade Nashville for Jussi Saros,
that's a contract that is a beast.
Exactly. He's making 7.75 for another 7 years.
58 years?
And he's
right.
Already got, and I know Nashville's not a great team. He's already got a sub 900 save percentage. He's a 5'11" goalie, and he's already 30 years old. So please don't bring up let's trade for Jussi Saros, because that would be an absolute disaster.
I would be, and this is going to sound ridiculous, I would be more okay overpaying in the trade than bringing back a bad contract. I'd be more okay giving up another pick than you want or a slightly better player than you want to give up rather than giving up less but getting a player on a horrendous contract. Because right now the Canes don't really have bad contracts, and that's just puts them in a position to be really good for a long time. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Panthers, Bucks, tomorrow. I kind of wish they didn't have the safety net of the Sunday game against the Falcons and Saints, just so we could say, for all the marbles, the winner advances. It's not 100% true, but they should treat it that way. Coming up next, we break down what the Panthers need to do to win.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
If you are a contact lens wearer and you are tired of wasting time and money, you need Travers LASIK and Dr. Lori Travers, because in about 10 minutes, Dr. Lori can put you on the path to 20/20 vision, and it's totally painless. 2-year, 0-interest financing is available. And if you are a first responder, police, firefighter, or EMT, Travers is giving you exclusive savings as well. 919-510-6830. 919-510-6830. TraversLASIK.com.
Now, let's take a short break from our 8-hour ode to the oboe for a word from our sponsor, Mr. First Tuesday. Get your scratch-offs on the very first Tuesday. Looks like we've got a caller on the line.
How are you not more excited about new scratch-offs? There's millions in prizes.
Who is this?
Oh, this is Mr. First Tuesday. And by the way, it goes, get your scratch-offs on the very first Tuesday.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy a pallet or more of select concrete mix. And there's more. Save up to 25% when you buy a pallet or more of select drywall panels. Plus, get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details. The Lowe's Closeout event means the final savings of the season are here. It's your last chance to get deals on seasonal decor, tools, flooring, and so much more. Refresh your home, check off your project list, or simply stock up on the brands you trust. Shop now to grab amazing deals before they're gone. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/7. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Panthers. I can't tell you I predicted it, but I can tell you I would enjoy it. The Panthers could be on their way to the postseason. The season's already a success as far as big overall goals, right? They're playing meaningful football all the way to the final drop of the regular season and perhaps beyond, right? Even if they lose to the Bucs, their season doesn't end because if the Falcons beat the Saints on Sunday, Panthers playing the Bucs on Saturday. If the Falcons beat the Saints on Sunday, Panthers still get to go to the postseason. So there's a lot of scenarios. There's a lot of conversation about how, an 8-9 record may still be on the postseason docket. But you only have to beat the teams that are in your division. And that's known from the beginning, and I think it's actually a good part of the way the NFL is designed. So regardless of what the outside world says about that NFC South, if you win it, you go, and you don't apologize. Dave Canales, head coach of the Panthers, spoke to the media today, and he assessed the division, that NFC South, as a whole like this.
I just see really good football being played across the board, and certainly those matchups that we've had with our different opponents, it's prepared us really well as we played teams from other divisions and outside of conference even, but it's the style of play that's really starting to emerge out of this division, a style of toughness, and physicality on the defensive side and, getting the run game going. And it seems like, the more that we find our identities, separately on the different teams, there's this there's just this style of play that I'm noticing. And it leads up to some amazing matchups, for sure with us and the Bucs, and then of course with the Falcons and Saints, who are playing really good football right now. So I'm proud to be a part of this division. I'm proud to be a part of where we're headed collectively, and I know that for us, our focus obviously has to be on playing our best football to find that opportunity. But it is shaping out to be a really interesting, just kind of a bloodbath of a division. So,
a bloodbath of a division. A pillow fight of a division. I don't care how you describe it. I don't care what you tell yourself. Win it. And the thing that I believe it comes down to is big plays. And specifically big plays for the offense. The defense, especially against Seattle last week, they came up with something, right? They got that Mike Jackson interception in the back of the end zone, bananas. The amount of times they made Sam Darnold uncomfortable, the fumble, those are huge plays. And you still lost for a few reasons. One, pretty horrendous turnovers, right? The Chuba Hubbard fumble followed up immediately by the Bryce Young interception. But I think the reason why you didn't have the margin of error is because you made it too difficult for yourself. And that's the wrong way to say it. But what I mean is the longest play from scrimmage for the offense was 11 yards. 11 yards. Right, 54 passing yards, but that comes with context, right? It's not all Bryce's fault. The amount of maybe lack of carries that they gave to Rico Dowdle despite having a decent yards per carry, that comes with context. Whatever the context is, you're not going to win many NFL football games when the longest gain from scrimmage is 11 yards. Because that's inherently doing what the NFL is trying to do away with. The NFL wants high flying. The NFL changed all the rules over the last 20 years, like one little tweak at a time, to benefit the offense, right? All of the illegal contact downfield, all the DPI, all the defenseless receiver, all the you can't touch the quarterback, all of that is designed to create big plays. And I'm not going to run through all the analytics, but one of the things the analytics guys love to tell you is how much your average points per possession goes up with one single good play, one single explosive play. You put up one run of 15 or more or one pass of 25 or more, and all of a sudden your points per possession go through the gosh darn roof. Panthers had 0. And they, quite frankly, weren't really close. And you may say, like, well, okay, it's, I dream of Genie, that bad boy, right? Wiggle your nose, nod your head, and boom, big plays. No, it's not that easy. But you can hunt them a bit more. Right? Your play calling and your decision making can hunt big plays a bit more. If you look around at the best offenses in the league, or maybe the best quarterbacks in the league this year, one of the things they do fantastically is they never pass up an opportunity for one of those big plays. They don't force it, but they don't pass up the opportunity, which is the fine line to play. Watch, UNC fans will like this. Watch Drake May this year. He's completing a stupid amount of his passes deep downfield. If you watch him, it almost feels like so many checkdowns, so many guaranteed completions. He's always taking the easy completion, but I will guarantee you if somebody has a step on their defender downfield, he's pulling the trigger. Watch Matt Stafford. Name him. Sam Darnold when going well, and he hasn't been maybe as of late, but watch Sam Darnold when going well. If Jackson Smith and Jigba's open, he's not, never mind, let me take the check down. They take that chance. I was watching a running back today. It wasn't today. It was when we were getting ready for the end of the year podium last time. It was Damon Claiborne. I don't know if this is good or bad of a running back. Damon Claiborne is one of the fastest running backs in the entire college football world, running back for Wake Forest going to the NFL draft. He presses everything, right? If the hole is the A gap, he's holding it true to the A gap, and he doesn't bounce. And part of me is like, you're lightning quick, bounce, go hunt a big play. But he's like, this is the way the play is blocked up. This is the way it's schemed. I'm going to press it right here, and I'm going to get what's designed. Which is good, and your running backs coach is really proud of you for that. But be a little greedy. Maybe that's the Rico Dowdle lesson here. You're not going to get 25 carries like you were during your hot stretch when Chuba Hubbard was hurt. You're not going to get 30 touches. You're not going to get so many opportunities. So try to make an impact on your 15. If you see a lane to bounce it, try to get that 18-yard gain. Because without it, I guarantee you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, Chris Godwin or Mike Evans are going to have multiple 15-yard catches. Like one of those two guys, and you could mix in McMillan, their young guy, if Igbuka's back on track, like they will have 15-plus yard catches on multiple drives. And that's just a fact of life when you have playmakers like that. Well, give Tetairoa McMillan a chance downfield. Right? If it's a 50-50 ball, trust Jalen Coker to make a contested catch because it's what he's done at an elite level so far in his NFL career. Granted, not on high volume, but that's probably because you're not taking enough chances throwing it to him.
Yeah, we need aggressive, stretch the field, Dave Canales play calling. And it seems like they alternate. It's just like with wins and losses. And you'd think when they see that trend, they'd realize maybe we do need to air it out a little bit more. And hopefully they will because their willingness to do that typically results in wins instead of losses.
We need to get Mike Glennon back on the show because he's our resident NFL 10-year quarterback veteran. But I've talked to him, I think on air, maybe on our podcast, Pack Therapy. Check it out everywhere podcasts can be found. But I talked to him about just like the phrasing in the headset, right? Because quarterbacks have the radio in their helmet. Just little phrases like, hey, here's the call, right? You can go spider 2, Y banana, whatever your long terminology is. If just before you stop talking, you go like, hey, green light on the shot if it's there, is huge for just giving the quarterback the not even confidence, the willingness to take that shot, right? Because you can also say, hey, if it's not wide open, check it down. You're good. You're going to end up with the check down every time. Right? I want to say we talked to Mike about it, and he used to say some coaches would give him green or red, and green was like, hey, let's go, and red just at the end meant let's be conservative if we can. Give him green. Give him green. Trust him to make those decisions and trust him to chuck it downfield. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Short show today because here on 99.9 we are going to be airing the Liberty Bowl, Navy and Cincinnati. That's coming up here. Pre-game will start at about 4 o'clock, 4:30 on opening kick is the schedule, which means to send you into the week the right way, we got to bump up our picks. We're going to make some picks. Max will line them up. We'll knock them down coming up after this.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rates to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rates in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. Don't wait, no hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out all higher interest debt and lowering your bills by thousands. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
This is The Drive. I haven't said this in a while, so I'll ask personal favor time. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. Growing that community there. The comment section, obviously lively. So if you want to jump in the mix or you just want to consume some more content from 99.9 The Fan, whether it's Canes, Panthers, any of the college teams in the area, football, basketball. There's combat sports stuff from Victoria Vodenecker. Check it all out. 99.9 The Fan's the channel. Please subscribe, set up alerts, tell your friends. Constantly trying to grow that community online. With that being said, we do have the Liberty Bowl coming up here on 99.9, which you can also hear on the 99.9 The Fan app, so go ahead and download that. But with that coming up, with pregame starting at 4, not a lot of time left for the drive. So let's make our picks and send you off into the weekend the correct way.
All right, so we got a lot of college basketball going on this weekend. All the triangle teams, all the Big Four teams are in action, actually. So I figure we'll go in chronological order, and we're starting bright and early tomorrow. NC State and Virginia playing at 11 a.m. tomorrow at the Lenovo Center. There is a hockey game tomorrow night, so it's a double day. So they got the early tip there. NC State's actually a 3.5-point favorite in this game against top 25 ranked Virginia. Of course, they did lose earlier this week in a thriller at Virginia Tech. Went to double overtime. There was like a crazy put-back buzzer beater at the end of the first overtime. It was an awesome game, but Virginia starts 0-1 in the ACC. As of now, this is actually a quad 2 opportunity. They just slipped outside the top 30 in the net rankings, but obviously all that stuff is still going to change over the course of the season. NC State and Virginia tomorrow at 11 a.m. Who you got, Tim?
Well, first of all, Virginia's getting a rough start to their ACC schedule. They start against a rival on the road, right? Virginia Tech. That's in Blacksburg. Now they're coming to the Lenovo Center on an early game on the road, which is just a weird place for a basketball team to be. So not the best start for Virginia, and I think it's going to bite them. I don't know whether NC State is coming or going. Right? It felt like, and we talked about it, felt like Will Wade was subtweeting Darian Williams in every rant about, like maybe his demeanor or his opinion of himself or edge and toughness. And then this past game, he comes out in just a dramatic, over-the-top, like, he's playing great. He's contributing to winning. So I don't know where they are, what they're doing in any direction. I do think they beat Virginia. I think Virginia has some growing to do, and they're in a tough spot. But it's a weird one. I think NC State's going to continue to get better. I think they have too much talent to look like they did in their non-conference schedule and not fix some things. But I think there's going to be ebbs and flows. Excuse me. I think there's going to be dramatic improvement for 5 or 6 games and weird dips because there's a lot of emotions over there, as Will Wade has been explaining or showing us, I should say, in post games. So I think State wins. The ESPN matchup predictor has them at almost 70%, which would indicate greater than the 3.5. So I'll lay the points. Say they win by 7.
Yeah, I think again it's going to be kind of a weird atmosphere with that 11 a.m. tip. It is a road team. You're coming off a double overtime loss. Probably pretty exhausted from that. Granted, it's a couple days of rest in between, but that was a bit of an emotional letdown. And then now you got to go on the road again.
I don't want to interrupt you, but 3 overtimes.
Oh, it was triple overtime.
Oh yeah,
I misremember. I was watching that game too because
there was some like Twilight Zone stuff going on where you felt like it should have ended, but it didn't.
Oh, but it just kept. They were doing everything they can to keep that game going, and it just kept going. It was a great game though. I don't regret watching it for a minute. The other team that played that game, Virginia Tech, they'll be here in the state of North Carolina as well. They'll be in Winston-Salem taking on Wake Forest. Wake Forest desperate for some resume building wins. They haven't been able to pick up any big ones that'll help them up as they try to make it back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since, I believe, 2017 now, and for the first time under Steve Forbes. Virginia Tech 12-2 so far, and they obviously picked up that big rivalry win earlier this week. That game is at noon at Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Are the Deacs going to pick up their first ACC win, or does Virginia Tech continue building a strong early resume?
Wake Forest is a weird one because they're literally 2 buckets away from being maybe ranked in the top 15 teams, because Michigan, who is a wagon, they took to overtime and kind of collapsed when they played them and ended up losing by 1 in overtime. And Texas Tech, a team that beat Duke and has some real trophy fish on the wall, was an 83-84 loss for Wake Forest. If they just get one more 2-point bucket in either of those games, even with back-to-back losses to Vanderbilt and State, they might still be ranked in that top 25 for sure. Now,
the manner of those losses, though, they were so flat in the second half of that State game earlier this week, and Vanderbilt just took them behind the woodshed.
But Vanderbilt's a very good team, and Michigan is top or second in the
Michigan's
country.
like the best team in the country.
And they took them to overtime and should have won that game. So, like, that would be equally as good as the losses are bad. But either way, they got to start winning games. They got, like, I can put together a pretty good argument if they win, like, 13 ACC games, right? Then I can start using the Michigan game and the Texas Tech game, and we can start doing some things for Steve Forbes, but they got to win more games, and it has to start now. So it's hard for me to say, like, right now it's going to happen for them, but it has to. And I know I'm not going to try to pronounce the Avdalas.
Avdalas, yeah.
He appears to be a stud.
Yeah.
He's the freshman for Virginia Tech. But I like Juke Harris. I like Miles Colvin. I like some of the Wake Forest guys as well. So I think it's a close one. I hope it's not triple overtime. I think it's a close one, and I think Wake pulls it out.
As much as I'd like Wake to win, I think Virginia Tech, they're probably riding high. Granted, it could be a letdown spot after the big win against Virginia earlier this week. But Wake, they got to turn some things around.
I mean, at home, triple overtime against a rival to on the road at noon, Wake Forest. That's a drop.
It's dark in there, too. Ever since they painted the ceiling and the walls all black and they put that big wall in the upper level, like, it's real dark.
I didn't know you were a shooter. That's a shooter reference right there. Like, the background is a little dark. I just went
to a bunch of games there when I was a kid, so when I go in there now, it's, like, super striking how dark
Don't let
it
Max
is.
get hot from three. He's got shooter's eye.
Yeah, right. All right, we'll go get into the afternoon now. UNC going on the road to SMU, who is actually out to a pretty good start themselves this season. Carolina is a 1.5-point favorite on the road at the Moody Coliseum in Dallas. Does Carolina continue their hot start, stay undefeated in the ACC, or does SMU pick up a win in their first conference game of the year?
Let's not get it twisted. Caleb Wilson is a monster. Florida State's not anything to write home about this year, and they did. You probably would have liked to have seen them win by 20+, and they won by 13 or whatever it was. But 22-16, and that dunk from Caleb Wilson. Good night. SMU's good. I will be on Front Street with you and say I haven't watched a lot of SMU. Just not enough time in the day. Boopy Miller's still out there, right? Old Wake Forest guard.
I'm interested to see how Caleb Wilson and Vesar contend with Summit Yigitoglu, the 7'2" Turkish center for SMU. It would be an interesting battle to see if the size can contend there with the Carolina's two big men.
I think UNC is one of the better teams in the conference. I think they win, and I think they cover the 1.5.
Yeah, I think they win in a close one as well. And then Duke is taking on Florida State at 3:45 down there in Tallahassee. This one not expected to be close. Duke is favored by 16.5, as you mentioned. Florida State not up to the greatest start. Just any general predictions for that game? I assume you probably have Duke taking home the win and stay at going to 2-0 in the ACC.
Cameron Boozer will have 25-12 because that's what he does. If there's a worry, they play Louisville next in a couple of days. Maybe a little looking ahead would be the worry. Both road games, by the way. So this one's in Tallahassee and at Louisville. So if there is a worry, that's what I would go with. But being so recent off the Texas Tech loss, I don't think you have to worry about that as much. So yeah, I mean, whatever the number is, Duke wins and covers the number by a good amount.
Yeah, and then finally, it's the big game we've been waiting for here for Panthers fans. 4:30 tomorrow afternoon in Tampa Bay, taking on the Buccaneers. Bucs are favored by 3 points, but that's basically just home field advantage there. Winner, not necessarily in as the NFC South champion. If the Panthers win, they are in as the champion.
Or tie.
If the Buccaneers win, they would still need a Saints win over the Falcons on Sunday, and that's the backdoor for the Panthers as well. If the Falcons can come away with a win against New Orleans, they will still make it if they lose this game. But I'm sure they'd prefer to win. I know I'd prefer to see them win. Are the Panthers going to get it done on Saturday, or are they going to have to wait with bated breath on Sunday afternoon as well?
What's stronger, the Panthers' pattern of every other game playing well, or the Panthers' pattern of playing poorly when everybody believes in them? Because right now they're the overwhelming betting favorite to make the postseason in that division, which would indicate it's time for them to pull the rug out from everybody that's buying, or they've gone every other game for now like 2 months playing better, worse, better, worse, better, worse. So that would indicate a good game. I'm hoping the alternating wins out and they win. I think for as many reasons as the Bucs are kind of lost right now, As much as the Panthers are doing well, I'm taking the Panthers, but I think it's gross, probably 20-17.
Yeah, give me Panthers like 17-14.
Just hideous but glorious at the very same time. That's going to do it for us here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Again, reminder, Liberty Bowl coverage coming up next. Thank you to Max for keeping us up and running. We'll be back on Monday. Happy New Year, everybody. Subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan, and we'll see you on Monday. Peace.
Pondering prizes with Cash Pop? Why pick just one pop when you can pick as many pops as you please? Up to 15. Picture this. You pick your pop, perhaps a powerful 7. Now pick more pops like a proud 9, a pristine 15, a perfect 10. Each pop propagates more potential to pack your pockets with prizes up to $2,500. So prepare for a peppering of prizes with Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Cash Pop. Play more pops, win more prizes. Must be 18 to play. See